Hello there everyone. So our group is going to share with you about the impacts of global warming in aquatic ecosystem. So we are going to dive into the coral reef ecosystem. Before starting, I will introduce to you our group members. So it is myself, Damia Rumaisa, Ain Shabila, Alice Alia, and also Shafia. So coral reefs, they are the most vital ecosystem, ecologically and economically. Why do I say that? Because coral reefs, they support more than 1/3 of the marine fish species. And Malaysia's coral reef are part of the Coral Triangle, which are a global biodiversity hotspot. But rising sea surface temperatures, SSTs, due to global warming are driving frequent mass bleaching events, MBEs, for the past decade, which notably in 2010, 2014 to 2017, and also 2022. So by understanding the factors influencing coral resilience, it will help us for our future conservation and management of this coral reef ecosystem. So the objective of this project is to assess the frequency and severity of coral bleaching events in Malaysia over the last decade. And the second one, to compare coral bleaching effects between turbid and clear water coral reefs. So now I am going to pass to my friend.
So I will start for the first study case is impact of global warming on coral reef ecosystem in Peninsular Malaysia. So we move to the factors that affecting the coral reef due to the global warming. So the first factor is sea surface temperature SST increase. Coral bleaching happens when SST rise just 1 degree Celsius above and long-term average and stay elevated for more than 28 days. This small temperature increase disrupt the delicate balance in coral ecosystem. The next factor is thermal stress indices. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration use the tool like degree heating wicks to measure how long and how intense heat stress is on coral reef. Higher DHW, higher the degree heating wicks values indicate greater risk of bleaching and coral damage. The third factor is El Nino event. So El Nino is a natural climate pattern that causes ocean temperature to rise unusually high. During events like in 2010 and 2014 until 2017, SST spiked sharply, leading to major mass bleaching events in Malaysia and other regions. For next, the last one is reduced recovery time. Coral reef need years, sometimes decades, to fully recover from bleaching. But with bleaching now happening more often due to the global warming, coral don't get enough time to heal, leading to long-term reef degradation. Next, I will move to the next slide that shows effects of global warming on coral reef ecosystem. So the first effect is coral bleaching. When ocean temperatures get too high, corals become stressed and expel the algae living inside them. These algae give corals their color and main source of energy, so without them, corals turn to white and become weak. And the second one, the effect is coral mortality. If the heat stress continues, corals can't survive. So fast-growing species like Acropora are more vulnerable and often die first during mass bleaching events. So the third effect is community shift. As heat-sensitive coral dies off, the reef gets dominated by hardier, slow-growing species. This changes the whole coral community structure and affects the biodiversity. And the second last effect is economic impact. So healthy coral reef support fishing, tourism and coastal protection. So bleach or dead reef lead to billions in economic loss, especially for countries that rely on marine tourism. And the last one is delay ecosystem recovery. So coral reef can take 10 to 20 years or more to fully recover, but with frequent bleaching, there's not enough time to full recovery, that leading to long-term degradation. Next, I will pass to the next person.
Thank you, Bella. So, I will continue for the case study 2. A field study was conducted in Darwell Bay, Sabah, comparing coral bleaching between two reef sites during the 2020 heat stress events, that is the turbid reef at Sakar and the Clearwater reef at the Blue Lagoon. For factors contributing to coral bleaching in Malaysia, firstly is rising sea surface temperatures, that is SST. Global climate change and marine heat waves raise sea temperatures, breaking the coral algae symbiosis and can causing the bleaching. And second, highlight intensity that can increase UV radiations worsens thermal stress, damaging coral tissues, especially in clear water reefs. And third, reef environment differences. Clearwater reefs like Blue Lagoon are more exposed to sunlight, making them more vulnerable. In contrast, turbid reefs like Sakar have suspended particles that reduce sunlight and offer some natural shading. And fourth is the depth gradients. That shallow corals are more affected by heat and light, leading to higher bleaching. So deep corals, especially in clear water, tend to bleach less. Anthropogenic stressors, that is, human activities such as urban development, pollution, and sediment runoff near coastline increase bleaching risk and lower the reef resilience. For the effects of coral bleaching, firstly, decline in coral cover. Long-term bleaching leads to the loss of live coral tissue, that reducing the overall coral cover. Second, loss of reef structure. The death of branching and foliose corals flattens the reef, decreasing its complexity. Third, fish population decline. As the coral habitats disappear, reef fish lost shelter and feeding grounds, reducing fish abundance and biodiversity. Fourth, impact of ecosystem services. Coral loss affect tourism, fisheries, and coastal protection, leading to economic and food security challenges for local communities. And fifth is the turbid reefs as a refugia. Turbid reefs like Saka may serve as a natural refuge for climate stress. However, their effectiveness is threatened by ongoing pollution and sedimentations. So next for the discussion, I will pass to Alice.
From both case studies, we found that rising sea temperatures are the main cause of coral bleaching in Malaysia. Even a 1 Celsius increase can cause serious bleaching, especially during El Nino. Clearwater reef bleach more, while turbid reef like Sakar in Sabah show less bleaching due to reduced sunlight exposure. Coral type and depth also affect vulnerability. Shallow and fast-growing corals bleach more than deeper, massive ones. Repeated bleaching can lead to coral death, fish loss, and impact tourism. Turbid reef helps, but still face threat like pollution. To conclude, Malaysia's coral reef are under serious threat from rising sea temperatures. Clearwater reef bleach more easily, while turbid reef, like those in Sabah, show better resistance due to natural shading. However, even these turbid reefs are not fully protected, as pollution and human activities still pose risks. If bleaching continues, we may lose not just coral, but also fish, tourism income, and coastal protection. Protecting our reef will require both global action on climate change and better local management. That's all from us. Thank you.